Welcome to our first ever workshop on movement practice. And thank you for being brave enough and curious enough to join us. The majority of our tenants have mental health challenges. Medications are an important part of our treatment toolbox, but let's not kid ourselves that they're magic bullets with no side effects. In his groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score, psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk writes, "Trauma victims cannot recover until they become familiar with and befriend the sensations in their bodies. Being frightened means that you live in a body that is always on guard. Angry people live in angry bodies. The bodies of child abuse victims are tense and defensive until they find a way to relax and feel safe. In order to change, people need to become aware of their sensations and the way that their bodies interact with the world around them. Physical self-awareness is the first step in releasing the tyranny of the past," which I think is a beautiful book and a beautiful quote. One of the founders of our supportive housing movement, Father John Felice, once said to me, "Well, the new medications are very powerful and effective in a way, but they've also caused most of our tenants to become seriously obese, many of them diabetic, and created a whole kind of cataclysm of other health issues." For us on the panel, and for many of us here in the audience, we have found dance, yoga, and exercising our muscles to be an effective protection against the twin wolves of anxiety and depression and other mental health challenges. Toxic thoughts may be banished by movement. If you move enough, your muscles change and grow. So does your mind. The brain initiates movement, but is in turn remade by movement. New cells are born, new vessels sprout. The same process operates body-wide. Every cell in your body is affected by motion. Your very DNA is changed. That's a quote from the New York Times fitness correspondent Gretchen Reynolds. 400 years ago, the French philosopher René Descartes ushered in the Enlightenment by saying, "I think, therefore I am." Perhaps we can look to the great Japanese writer Haruki Murakami for an update that fits our era. He writes, "I move, therefore I am." Our four panelists today are dancers, artists, fitness instructors, one of whom is also a newly minted MSW. Congratulations, David. And in addition to these many serious qualifications, perhaps the number one reason they're here with us is that they are healers, a sacred and ancient calling. This panel comes out of seeing gorgeous, well-equipped, and empty health clubs in so many of our supportive housing residences, and from the desire to enliven these spaces to enrich the lives of our tenants and our staff. And I'd also like to say that you are welcome to take off your shoes for this workshop. Each of our panelists is going to present a brief insight into their work, and then we're going to do a demonstration, which you are welcome to join us by standing up or staying in your chairs to whatever extent you feel comfortable doing. So now I'd like to introduce our individual panelists. So I'm going to start with Eric Taylor. Eric Taylor holds a BFA in dance from the University of the Arts, an MFA in dance from New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, and has studied abroad at both the London Contemporary School of Dance and the Centre de Danse du Marais, terribly mispronounced, in Paris. His work has also appeared at Lincoln Center Out of Doors, Joyce Soho, and many other prominent venues here and abroad. As the artistic director of Eric Taylor Dance, he also creates and curates multiple community outreach programs, including a dance workshop residency with the Postgraduate Center for Mental Health, an arts and cultural exchange program with Cuba, a mentorship dance workshop for underprivileged youth, and an annual grant for aspiring choreographers. Taylor continues to explore the endless possibilities of dance, both in performance and outreach. Thank you, Eric. A very short, not quite 4-minute video of his collaboration with the Postgraduate Center for Mental Health.
Hi, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm the artistic director of Eric Taylor Dance, founded right here in New York City in 2006. And in April of this year, Postgraduate Center for Mental Health, also known as PGCMH, gave my company the opportunity and a grant to teach classes to their clients. One of the best parts, I think, about this program has been designing a curriculum that meets the client's needs to get them in touch with their feelings and coping with everyday stress. The classes have been located at PGCMH on 36th Street in New York City in a building that was originally built as a church in 1904. The main class that we teach here at PGCMH is called Movement Expressions, and it's done with live music. So a live musician comes and plays drums and piano. And it's a workshop designed for non-dancers who are the clients of PGCMH. The workshops connect the mind and body. They meditate, dance, and improvise. And they learn to use dance to manage stress, express thoughts and feelings, and develop healthier coping skills. And I think that we've achieved that so far, and it's been a very rewarding experience.
Hi, my name is Danielle, and I'm one of Eric's dancers. It has been an absolute joy and honor to be here. It's one of the things that has been so much more rewarding than teaching regular dancers, and to really see them come alive and express themselves and to watch them grow over the last several months. It's really been incredible.
I was a little bit nervous because I've never worked in community outreach and dance therapy, but I have to tell you that this has been an exhilarating experience to work with non-dancers, especially clients with special needs. Incorporating dance, movement, and physical therapy and physical exercise for the clients has been extremely gratifying to watch the growth and their shyness just flourish into dancers that are taking away a gift. They express so much gratitude every day that we're here. I'm sad that this is coming to an end, but when one door closes, another one opens. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Blanca Parayon, and I would like to tell you how I used to feel before I enjoyed Eric Taylor workshop at postgraduate. I was feeling kind of sad, depressed, no motivation, and until I came to his workshop, my feeling, my spirit, my soul started feeling marvelous, awake. I wish we can keep this workshop because it really helps for our health, for our mental health also.
Hi, I'm Bobby Friedman. This workshop has given me a chance to learn a new way of, speaking and expressing myself. Like today I walked in feeling very stressed. During the course of the class, it just totally all went away until the very, very end when we all got together and held hands like to say goodbye. And at that point I felt like crying because I felt like everybody had gone through that experience with me and was supportive of me.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Hopes. Being the senior citizen of the group, 71 years of age, I was somewhat a little bit lazy until I started working out with the Eric Taylor dancers. It is a workout. Exercise is good. I done lost weight. I feel good. I'm happy about that. Where before I couldn't lose weight, I'm able to lose weight, and I'm learning a few dance steps. Maybe I can take out a girl.
I am Mark Cruz, and I've been attending here Eric Taylor's dance. When I first came in, it was no pressure. I was in a lot of pain. It's just, and now I don't have that. It's helped me. I don't know what else to say. I'm lost for words. It would have been great. It's a shame that we're leaving and they're not coming with us.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Figueroa. Here at PGCMH, I've had the honor and the pleasure to be taught by Eric Taylor Dance. and his company. Okay, this is a passion of mine. I never got to pursue it. And I've been given this big opportunity to be able to do what I love. I would love the opportunity for it to continue. I've learned a lot. I've been able to express any type of anger or hurt or anything. I've been able to express it through dance, being taught by one of the best. And again, it's been an honor. And I pray and I hope that we are given another opportunity to continue this for as long as possible. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Taylor and I'm the founder and artistic director of Eric Taylor Dance. We're a nonprofit 501c3 company based in New York City, and we currently have an ongoing residency now that I told you with postgraduate. And I'd like to take you through a little PowerPoint and a little introduction about myself and the work that we're continuing to do with Postgraduate Center for Mental Health. And we want to expand and introduce ourselves to other organizations and offer our classes to as many institutions around New York City as possible. Well, guess what, guys? We got to continue the workshop. We've been going for 2 years now. Yes. So we started 2.5 years ago. And since shooting that video, we've expanded to teaching 6 workshops a week at 6 PCMH supportive housing sites. We curate 4 different workshops: breath and energy, strength and conditioning, kids dance hall and hip hop, and movement expressions. Strength and conditioning is a very simple fitness workshop, and that utilizes stretching and body weight exercises. Breath and energy uses gyrokinesis and breathing techniques to help relieve stress and improve flexibility. Dancehall is a Jamaican hip-hop dance that's been getting quite popular in the U.S. And our most popular workshop, as you saw in the video, is movement expression, and it contains very straightforward dance, improv, and meditation in order to help with self-expression. All of these workshops can be tailored and tweaked to meet the specific needs of the participants, whether they be children or adults, sitting or standing, disabled, or dance allows for such diversity in teaching. I believe movement expression has become our most successful workshop due to the fact that it deals with both mental and physical health, and in my opinion, it's nearly impossible to have one without the other. The participants of the workshop are people who haven't been physically active for practically the past decade, and it's often due to a dangerous spiral of mental disability and the incorrect rationale that their physical fitness is beyond repair. That is why we tailor the lessons to slowly allow participants to exit their shells with exercises that they can 100% do with modification. As many of us already know, poverty, mental illness, and poor physical health lead to a myriad of other serious problems. Therefore, integrating a fitness routine as part of a treatment or case coordination plan makes sense both for the individual and the community overall. As supportive housing moves toward more deeply integrating physical and behavioral health, this is an opportunity to improve both and help folks gain a sense of empowerment along the way. And with that, I want to take you through a short warm-up. So if you all could please stand up. So everyone, just close your eyes for 1 second and just be in the room, and soften your knees for a second. Close your eyes and take a deep breath all together. Let's inhale deep. And just exhale all the stress away. One more breath. It feels so good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now float your eyes open and bring your palms together. We're going to start energizing up the body and warming up and seeing energy creation. So inhale your palms, press them together away from your body, and then exhale them in towards the heart chakra. Good. Inhale out and exhale in. One more time. Inhale out and exhale halfway in, and begin to move your hands vigorously, creating heat. Feel the heat that you create. We can create so much energy when we're down and out. Just create heat and then separate your hands slowly. Feel the little globe of golden energy that we can create. Do that one more time. Feel the friction and the heat. Activate your cores. Breathing, inhale and exhale. Now separate slowly your hands and bring them further apart. Just float your hands apart and bring your arms. Watch out for your neighbors, but try to extend your arms all the way up and bask that energy all the way up, looking up towards the sky. Good, and bringing your arms down. Good, now let's roll our shoulders back 3 times. Inhale, back, and exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, and exhale. Last one. Inhale, and exhale. Reverse it. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Relieving any stress. Good. And clasp your fingers behind your heads and just give yourself, you owe it to yourselves, give yourself a little massage down the sides of your spine. Good. And take your left hand and put it on the side of your head and breathe into the stretch, bringing your ear to your shoulder. Really breathe into that stretch. And exhale, float your head through neutral and come to the other side. And then do the opposite side. Inhale to the stretch, bringing that opposing shoulder away from your ear. And then exhale, come back to neutral. Good. Bring your arms back up. Inhale. And then exhale, dive your fingertips forward and start rolling down, chin to chest. Soften your knees on the way down and slowly let the weight of your head and your arms bring your body down as far as you can possibly go. Let your head go. Pay attention to softening your knees. Good. Take a deep breath. Activate your core. Inhale deep into your core. And then exhale. Move your arms around, circular. Move your head from side to side. Nod it, yes and no. Good. And then soften your knees on a deep breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Pull your tummy into your spine, navel to spine, and start rolling up, stacking the vertebra, dropping your tailbone, coming up one vertebra at a time. Good. And that's our little warm-up, and I want to introduce Geneva, who's one of our most awesome instructors, and she's going to take you through one more exercise.
My name is Geneva Jenkins, and I've had the privilege of working with residents at Bronx Park East, Grand Concourse, and Echo Place. And today I'd like to share one of the exercises that is a favorite among the residents that I work with. It's a great exercise because it works with a wide range of abilities, physical abilities, and ages. And since you guys are already standing up, let's all bring our arms up into the sky, up above you, as if you're making a giant X with your body. Yeah, so separate your legs. And I want you to reach the left arm up and then reach the right. Make yourself as big as possible. And now just release the arms down. And just shake them out by your side. And reaching back up into the X. Nice and big. We're going to all move to the left as if you're tracing the outside of a giant circle and arcing to the other direction. And as we're arcing, I want you to imagine that you're creating a giant canvas, circular canvas in front of you, yes? And with that canvas, I want you to think of the first letter in your name. So imagine the first letter in your name. And you're going to drop your arms because I think we've created the canvas now. And you are going to draw the first letter of your name with the tip of your nose on that imaginary canvas in front of you. So let's do it all together as a group. G, right, is the first letter of Geneva. And you guys have your first letters of your name. Let's print our name on this imaginary canvas together. So drawing your name on that imaginary canvas, continuing to breathe and release your body, enjoying the arcs and the circles. Drawing, can we do it in cursive maybe? Try it in cursive, yeah? Okay, drawing with your nose in cursive. And after you finish that first letter, let's take our entire head and let's draw with the top of our head on that canvas that same first letter. So let's do printing. Yeah, let's do printing. So with the top of your head, make sure if it's a T, you cross your T or you dot the I. All the details, allow them to be there. And now that we've experienced that, let's move down into the chest. Again, let's draw on that canvas first letter of your name with the chest, but now let's make it really tiny. So it's a little tiny letter. A little tiny letter, really little, yes, very little, okay. Now moving down to the hips, we're gonna do the whole first name. Why not, right? I know, I'm sorry if you have a long name, but let's try it anyways. And I encourage you to draw it as big as possible, yes? Okay, ready? Okay. G, E, N, E, V, A, yeah? Don't skip any letters. I'm watching for it, yeah? Don't skip any letters. Okay. Can we all just reach our arms back into our giant X, the giant X, reaching your legs apart, twinkling those fingertips, yes, and releasing your arms down to neutral, and you can take a seat. Thank you. I have a few last words to share with you before we move on. Hello, yes, it's still working. This is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the programming that Eric Taylor Dance offers. This has been such a wonderful experience for me. For many of the residents I work with, this workshop is the first step in turning their lives around. Expressing themselves through music, becoming aware of their own physical strength and creativity, allows them to find joy and motivation in their life outside of our work together. The residents, like you and I, want to express themselves, feel inspired to pursue personal goals, and feel included by their peers. Many of them, when they first come to my workshop and I first see them, they lack confidence and they lack any motivation to just move at all. Even if they're seated or standing, they lack motivation. And from week to week, I've seen these workshops go from changing their physical awareness and personal perspective to motivating them to pursue hobbies and become more involved in building their community. Examples of this, which I've experienced at the specific residents I've worked with at, is Bronx Park East. One of the women that I work with and I see every week, she came up to me and shared with me that she started a walking group, completely independent of any encouragement, but directly inspired by meeting with us weekly. And many of the residents meet with her on a weekly basis, and they go walking together. And at Grand Concourse, one of the residents found motivation through this workshop to return to his love of music and drumming. Because of these weekly workshops, he's returned to practicing his love of music, and recently came up to me after class to share that he'll be performing downtown in a few weeks. I'm so grateful to be part of this experience and just to watch these people grow and come alive through these workshops, and I can hardly wait to witness the potential transformations at our newest residence, Echo Place. On that note, I'd like to turn it back to Eric Taylor.
I just want to say thank you very much for coming, and I wanted to thank Sarah for inviting me, and a big thank you to Jacob Barak. Jacob, thank you so much for allowing us to do this program. Thank you so much.
I'd like to now introduce Keturah Hutchison. Keturah taught her first yoga class in 1998 at the age of 47 at the suggestion of, 47, woo! At the suggestion of a physical therapist, as an adjunct to intensive physical therapy and an alternative to surgery. Coming to yoga in pain helped her deeply and directly to appreciate the core yoga tenets of patience and practice and the importance of steady breath. She completed her teacher training through Dharma Mitra at Dharma Yoga Center, mentored by Lily Cushman, who inspired a love of teaching. Keturah has led yoga classes since 2010 at the Brooklyn Yoga School. At 65, she is turning her attention as a yoga teacher toward yoga's great capacity for healing trauma and connecting with strength. I have also had the personal pleasure of practicing in her classes, and she is a magnificent and inspiring teacher. Thank you, Keturah.
And after Eric's and Geneva's beautiful presentation, it just was such a strong reminder of how all of these practices are really joy-based practices, especially coming from this yoga background. The yoga practice is marketed in a way that addresses us in a place of lack. A place of feeling like, I'll never be good enough. All these other people seem to have something I don't have. And so, for so many people, coming into class is a moment of just really, it's kind of depressing to come into class and some people don't even come because of the fear of encountering, all these young people, like Leslie said, throwing their legs over their shoulders like a scarf, And my professional practice is I'm a teacher at Brooklyn Yoga School, which is started in 2010 by Lily Cushman Frindell and her husband Jeremy. And it's a donation-based studio. So we offer our classes on a donation basis. It's right at 6th Avenue and Flatbush, so sort of between Prospect Heights, Park Slope, Fort Greene, in that area, Barclay Center. I took my first yoga class when I was 47, and that was a long time ago. And I really had to be almost bribed by a friend to go. She just kept hammering, like, you need to go to this class. And, I had a lot of problems at the time, the shoulder pain Sarah mentioned, but also just struggling with depression and anxiety and substance abuse and weight issues and just a lot of different kinds of things. Secretly, I went, I think, because of this friend's inspiration. Like, I want what you have, and that's a phrase from the 12-step programs, right? But you see someone and they're modeling this radiance, and it doesn't have to be like a 27-year-old woman in lycra or man, There's something that comes through that's unmistakable. And, she hadn't had it so easy either. So, I can sort of feel like the clients that you all serve, in my situation, I had a job, I had an apartment, and yet I was feeling very hopeless about my physical situation and mental situation, and all of that. So I was very, very fortunate to take a class with a very wonderful teacher, Christopher Hildebrandt, who still, I think, teaches in New York City from time to time. He's kind of semi-retired. But he really got that, even though he taught at one of these sort of fancy yoga studios with everybody doing these things, his orientation was very much one of a therapeutic kind of understanding of the practice. And there's a lot more going on now that sort of addresses those issues, but he focused very much on just breathe in, breathe out, make space for your breath, do what you can, don't worry if you can't do it, just stay with your experience in the moment of the practice. And so it really, because of his gifted teaching, it really didn't matter if other people around in the room were doing these things that seemed impossible. He really had a way of emphasizing, you're coming home, right? You're coming home to something that is yours. That is yours to discover. So since then, there have been many, many studies by lots of people that I won't go into, but this wonderful book, Overcoming Trauma Through Yoga, is one example, and also Bessel van der Kolk's book, The Body Keeps Score, that Sarah mentioned. But there's so many. I'll just name a few: Stephen Cope, Gita Iyengar, Peter Levine, Elizabeth Hopper, Matthew Sanford, a paraplegic yoga teacher, David Emerson, Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, Vonda Scarvelli. There's a tradition of people who really are about this kind of yoga and not about showing off. I guess I'll just say that. We want very deeply to help people come into this supportive home in oneself. And so just to break down a few things that I think characterize this way of working with the yoga with people. The first kind of branch of that would be the practices of empowerment. So empowerment by connecting with the present moment, by having choice in how you move your body. So you have a choice whether you do the thing or not that's being suggested. And the agency, so taking an effective action in a certain direction that you've decided you want to take. So there's those practices of empowerment. And then this notion that Sarah mentioned of befriending, of finding a safe home within, and that feeling can be accessed through breath, through balance and rhythm, through stability and grounding, and through a sense of boundaries, of one's own personal space and boundaries, and honoring that as you practice. I guess it's time to move on to the practice. And I think it's great that we had Eric and Geneva's very invigorating moment, because there's probably still a little bit of percolation or effervescence or something like that that's going on with people. So it's a great place to start with where we're coming from. We're coming from this moment, and who knows, people come from to it, face to face with you from many, many situations, but let's be glad ours is this happy dance situation, and we're invigorated. We're possibly feeling some movement within. So with that, let's stay in our seats. So taking your seat. And I'm not going to suggest a particular way to take your seat. I'm just going to ask you, if you don't mind, if you would, to wherever you are in your seat, to connect first just with the feet and how your feet are there on the ground. And now connecting with the space above the crown of the head. So we're marking this map of above and below, and our bodies here occupying the space between these 2 points, above and below. So first, asking you to just tune into your breath. Where is it in your body? Where do you find it? When I say, or when someone makes a suggestion, find your breath, where do you go? So go there. Go there. And notice the movement there that the breath brings. So as you breathe in, as you breathe out, there's movement there, wherever it is. And can you very gently begin to move? It could be only, imperceptible to the naked eye if you want, or you could make larger movements. Just begin to move at that space that you've identified as the place where your breath lives, to move from there in any direction. And to notice how you feel as you move, what comes up. Has the place of the breath shifted? Can you go there? And now from this movement, coming into balance or coming into neutral. So what is neutral? A feeling that there's no leaning from one side to the other. No straining up, no collapsing down, but something that very literally might feel like nothing at all. This center, this neutral. So find your way from movement to this neutral. And now softening around the edges of the body. And becoming aware of the space just outside the body. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you feel with your sense of touch? And now shifting to a part of the body that might feel just a little uncomfortable. So not if you have chronic pain, not your number 10 pain, just a little uncomfortable, like not so comfortable there. There's something going on there. What could you do in this moment to shift so that you find a little more comfort there? Perhaps rubbing or squeezing there. Bringing weight into that space or away from it. Just a little more comfortable. And now finding a place within the body that feels fine. Not great, not amazing, just fine. How do you know? What is the quality there? Cool, warm. And can you just for the next few moments move from that place that feels fine? Just easy. Keep the breath easy. Can you remember this feeling? This is fine. And we'll close by, if you like, only if you like, taking a hand or two there to that place that feels fine. Remembering the feeling. And as if you could, with your hands now, take that with you wherever you go in the rest of your day. Exhale. And coming back to neutral. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're all here with us today, because so many times at conferences like this where there's so many information-rich panels, they fill our minds with important and useful information, but sometimes we don't address the needs of our body. And when you asked Katura what place feels a little uncomfortable, I thought, does anyone not have sore feet at this point in the day? I'd like to introduce our two final panelists today, Karisa Antonio and David Brand. They both work for Lantern Community Services, one of our fabulous supportive housing providers here in New York City. And I would like to say, in spite of calling out many supportive housing residences where there's not very often used health clubs, Lantern is at the forefront of successfully integrating movement practices into their programming. And it's a real treat to have the two of you here with us today. Karisa is the Director of Arts, Culture, and Fitness at Lantern Community Services, where she designs and implements programs for residents in 14 supportive housing buildings. Focused on fostering independence and well-being, Karisa is dedicated to providing the highest quality experience for Lantern clients through a variety of activities, including ongoing weekly classes, special events, and partnerships with New York City's cultural and fitness institutions. Her work at Lenox Hill Neighborhood House as Assistant Director of Arts and Education, along with her experience as the Shape Up New York City Coordinator for the Borough of Queens, continues to inspire and inform her current endeavors in fitness programming. Are you kind of going to speak together about your work, or shall I introduce David next?
Go ahead and introduce David.
David is a social worker, writer, and certified personal trainer with several years of experience in supportive housing. David currently serves as fitness consultant for Lantern Community Services. In this capacity, he provides personal training, group exercise classes, and health counseling for individuals at 2 of Lantern's sites. David also runs an after-school fitness program for students at a high school in Canarsie. He collaborates closely with mental health and social service staff at each location to best engage community members. Previously, David served as a case manager at Housing and Services, Inc. and Lenox Hill Neighborhood House Supportive Housing Sites. Thank you so much, Karisa and David, for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the end of your day. You hear all this information coming out and you think, okay, how does that fit into our situation at our place? And how can we use this information to benefit our clients? And so I hope that some of the information that we share today can not only be inspiring, but also maybe be something that you might consider putting into place in your own way. So I'm really excited just to tell you a little bit about our fitness program at Lantern. And I'd like to start with our goals. So first of all, we want to enable our clients to attain their individual health goals. We want to provide a safe and structured environment for positive socialization. And we want to support staff through innovative resources and methods. So here we have one of our fitness rooms. In the summer, we were able to put together 2 fitness rooms, one at one of our buildings in Brooklyn and the other one on the Upper West Side. And so we have now these state-of-the-art facilities. We have treadmills, we have exercise bikes, we have weights, and our clients that live in the buildings, they're able to go through a membership process and orientation so they learn how to use the equipment, and they receive a card and they can come in and use the facility when they're able to. So it's a really great resource for them to use independently. We have staff that are on site, but they're not in the room, so our clients can come in and use the equipment in the way that they see fit. We also have weekly classes at both of our buildings, and they are body conditioning. We have personal training sessions with David. Our clients can sign up for a 20-minute meeting with him to go over their fitness goals. We also have yoga. And then in another building, we have core strength and flexibility. So these are 2 buildings where we've really been fortunate to put these in place. At other buildings, we don't have the staff, or we don't have the funds, or we don't have the space to do something like this. But we're able to implement other fitness programs which have involved like African fusion dance, a walking group, Walk Around the World initiative, where we have different buildings competing against each other. We've had groups that had a pool group where they take walks to the local public pool so they can exercise through swimming, and also just shorter fitness workshops similar to what Eric has been offering. So there's a lot of variety of options available for fitness programming. And one of our goals is just to find a new way to develop relationships. So this is an opportunity for staff, and we really welcome staff to not only encourage clients to attend classes and groups, but also to go side by side with them in the class and work together and that's just a new way to develop a relationship between the staff person and the client. It takes away the desk, it takes away the, why aren't you doing this and why are you doing this? And it just puts a central goal in front of the staff and the client. So that has been a really wonderful way that we've been able to create those kind of relationships. And also, we give our clients an opportunity to connect in a safe and welcoming space. So where they may not have had anything in common or they didn't think that they did, now they're engaged in this activity where they're working on goals, again, side by side, and developing those relationships and connections. So maybe when they see the other person next to them in the elevator or they're coming in and out of the building, they might not have a really long, in-depth conversation, but they know that person. They can nod to them. They can say, "How are you today?" It just creates a little bit more sense of connection and a sense of home, sense of place. So along with that, we have socialization, that goal. So bringing our clients not only to a place within our buildings where they can interact in a safe place with each other, but also to get them out into the community. So that could be a wider community of mixing our buildings together. This is our basketball team. So we did a trial basketball team in the fall. We got clients from a lot of our buildings to come together to play basketball, and it was a really amazing opportunity. Actually, I brought this up because if any of you are aware of basketball courts that we can use, please come talk to me, because that's one of our biggest challenges, and maybe for people like you that have tried to find gym space outside of your facility, it's a big challenge. So also, we're looking for other agencies to join with us. So if we can get a lot of people together, we can have a league or something like that. I would love to do something that brought more people together. But this is one way that we bring clients from different buildings together to engage in a fun and active way. And then finally, one of the things that I feel like one of my colleagues says, you're preaching all the time. I'm always preaching to the staff about how to use fitness and other programs as an integrative resource, to think of them as another way that you can provide treatment, that you can refer your clients to, that you can, if someone brings up a certain issue that they have, that you can have that class or you can have that idea in your head. Why don't you go there? Or why don't we go there together and build our own relationship, help you work on your own goals. And so we're really trying to encourage our staff to think of our programs as part of their toolbox.
Prior to earning my MSW, I just graduated from NYU. I served as a case manager. Thank you. So now I can speak with confidence about preventive and holistic health and the biopsychosocial lens, so thank you. But prior to going back to school, I did serve as a case manager for about 3.5 years in supportive housing. And during that time, I noticed that almost all of my clients were obese and experienced obesity-related chronic illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, joint problems, arthritis, and these were not related to some quirk of brain chemistry. These were related to poverty, to medication, to a lack of structure, to substance abuse, and to kind of the structural barriers to access to fitness and exercise. And so that's what motivated me to become a personal trainer back in 2014, expanding my business, fusing fitness and mental health for people in supportive housing in particular. And so Karisa and Lantern had the foresight to see that this is really important preventive, integrative approach to holistic health. So thank you. I think what's cool about our programs is that it's not just having someone like me come in and teach this 3-hour session with a few clients with no real buy-in with the rest of the program or with the rest of the staff. I'm able to collaborate closely with the mental health staff, with the social service staff, and the case managers in particular to share some of the information that the individuals I work with tell me while we're exercising, because here's another social work term, but the transference is so different while we're exercising than it is in a more traditional counseling setting where I'll be sitting across from someone and they come into this setting with all of the past experiences they've had with counselors and with case managers, and I'm just another counselor, another case manager. But when we're working out together on treadmills, or we're doing planks together, or I'm demonstrating a specific movement, people really open up, and especially with some of the men, it's like two bros working out and telling me things that they would never tell me in another situation. And so that's just another emotional support, another mental health support that these kinds of programs offer. Before we get into our practice, I just wanted to share experience of one person in particular. His name is Tony. Relatively young man, really motivated to get in better shape, to work out. And at the same time, he's an active opiate abuser. And so this comes up sometimes because, especially when I was getting started doing this program back in August and September, he would come one week and be really motivated to lift weights, and would be working towards some of his goals, have a pretty strict program. And then the next week he might come obviously high and want to lift weights, but he's starting to lean a little bit. And so I said redirect him to the bike, and we could work on the bike together, and then I could share some of that information with the social service staff. And the next week when he came, we could talk a little bit more about that and say, maybe next time when you're using, you can use after you work out. And it's like the principles of harm reduction, rather than just punishing him, saying you have to get out, but doing something that's safe for him and not making him feel shame. And so he kind of took that to heart. And so I know that he's using less often. He's not sober, but he's working on his recovery. He's working out almost every single day. It's actually incredible. Last week he ran 7.5 miles on the treadmill, which that I think is insane. So. And he's lost at least 15 pounds. He's really engaged with other members of the community, getting other people to come down into the gym, as Karisa mentioned, developing relationships. And he's just becoming a more positive influence on others in the community too, which I think is really incredible, and one of many success stories, and I think there's going to be more to come. All right, so speaking of developing relationships, we're going to work out a little bit, and we're going to get into partners.
David and I will demonstrate 3 movements. And so who here can remember 3 movements at the end of the day? Okay, a few people in the front, so just watch them. So we're going to demonstrate 3 movements, and then we will all do them together in a circuit. So basically building relationships, building partnerships, and then you get a little taste of kind of the active energy that David brings to his classes also.
All right, so this first exercise Karisa and I are going to demonstrate. We'll just demonstrate near the steps. Is that cool? So keep this in mind. You're going to be doing this with your partner, okay? So you're going to stand about 3 feet apart if you want to stand. You can also do this while seated, but you might have to turn your seats. You can also do this sitting side by side. So Karisa and I are going to stand about 3 feet apart. Back to back. Let's go 3, 2, 1. And we're just going to slap hands. We're getting our trunk activated, our core, working our obliques.
This is working.
This is a great warm-up. You can also do this as more of an intense exercise, holding a ball, passing a ball back and forth. Again, you can do this while seated. Okay? So we're going to do that for 30 seconds. I'll cue you when we begin. The next exercise, we're going to stay with our partners. One partner is going to be doing jumping jacks. And if you don't feel comfortable doing jumping jacks, you do it like Karisa's doing, just kind of step. Get that heel out there. Just get those arms up, keeping that core activated, moving those legs, okay? So while I'm doing the jumping jacks, the other partner, Karisa, you'll be doing squats. So a couple ways to do the squats here. Right, you can do this on your feet if you feel comfortable standing. I want you to keep those feet about shoulder width apart, heels pinned to the floor, and just be dropping to about parallel, your legs parallel to the floor, or whatever feels comfortable for you. The other way to do this activity, I'll demonstrate this in the aisle right here, is squats from sitting to standing. So you'll just find your seat and stand back up. Find your seat, stand back up. And this is an excellent kind of work for someone who's deconditioned in our housing sites, someone with some leg problems, someone who's feeling tired today, okay? And if you really don't want to stand up at all, you can stay seated and just march. March your legs, okay? So while one partner is doing jumping jacks, the other partner is doing squats, seated squats, or marching. And Margot wants to see you active. And my former supervisor and mentor, Margot. So. All right. This is working now. Cool.
All right. You want to put that on?
The whole world is watching now, Margot.
So stand up, find your partners. You have 5 seconds.
I'm sitting right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand back to back.
All right, get back to back with your partners, people. Let's move. So give yourself like 3 feet between each other so that the exercise is a little more challenging. Okay, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It's not playing. I'll walk around. Good, good, good. I want you to keep your stomach, your core muscles engaged as you do this. Keep those arms engaged. Keep a nice athletic position. Perfect, perfect. And keep breathing while you're doing this. And if you prefer to sit, you can also just move side to side. Good. Like to see people working right now. We got 15 more seconds. 15 more seconds. We got 10, 9. Let's pick it up a little this last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 2 more twists. 2 more twists. 2 and 1. Good. All right. Cool. All right, so remember one partner. Let's say the partner on the left. Give yourself space. You're going to be doing jumping jacks. And if you're seated, you're just going to be pumping your arms and legs. The partner on the right, you're going to be doing some version of the squats that we showed, okay? So figure out who's doing which. We're going to get started in 5 seconds, all right? 5 seconds. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go. Let's get started, everybody. Good. Good. Remember when you're doing those squats, keep that chest out, shoulder blades back, heels pinned to the floor, and keep breathing. I want people breathing with every movement. Good, good. Good. And for those of us who haven't done jumping jacks since high school PE, I've been there, but it's an excellent workout, an excellent warm-up to add to your routine, especially if you're in limited amount of space. So let's go. Get those arms pumping. Let's get a little deeper in these squats. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. People are getting a little ahead. Come on, we got 3, 2, 1.5, and 1. All right, good. Now, let's clap. Let's clap. Awesome. So now you can do that with your members of your community and supportive housing every single morning as a team.
But as a now government person, I'm wondering, how is this stuff funded? Do you have any grants? Do you know of any places that how do you pay for this? And how do you convince an agency's executive staff to take a chance and do something that's maybe not Medicaid billable?
You know what? I'll take it around right. Karisa, do you want to take that one?
So I can't speak to every organization's funding and what there are foundations out there that you can do research, but I do want to stress that whatever your resources are, that you can do movement exercises. You do not have to build a whole fitness center in order to provide fitness opportunities for the clients. So I think you can consider a lot of options. You can apply for funding. You can allow your staff to lead a walking group, or as David showed you, it doesn't take a lot of equipment for us to get moving. Even a roll of stretchy bands is just, $20 or something like that, and you can cut them up, and people of different levels of fitness can use those. So I think there are a lot of options for fitness, and I think what's really important is as Lantern has, recognizing the use and the toolkit for the staff to use these resources. And actually, that's more important than bringing someone in and having a lot of money. I've had workshops where I brought in what I thought was a great instructor, and I have like 2 people that show up, and then I have 1 person show up, and then I have 0, right? And so, but when I have the staff saying, hey, this is a really great opportunity for you. You told me you want to lose weight. You told me you want to de-stress. You told me you want to do this. Let's do this. Let's use this resource, this opportunity. Those are the classes that really benefit people. So I think that kind of integration into the services is really the key ingredient.
A bit more about empowering staff or finding a champion amongst a staff that would really like to do this and take that chance to say, hey, I'm going to work out with my caseload.
I would say it's essential to have staff buy-in. It's essential. Your programs cannot succeed unless the people that are there are supporting them. I can't plop David into a building where, everybody's just like, okay, come in and do your thing, and then he's out of there. He needs to be connected with them to have an understanding of the clients. But also, it doesn't have to be staff. I mean, you can find qualified volunteers if you don't have the money. If you have the staff resource, maybe someone that can't lead a fitness class, but they're qualified to manage volunteers, and they know what qualifications someone has to have to work with your clients. So there are a lot of levels of support for a fitness program that can exist. Yeah.
My question. Congratulations, first.
Thank you.
My question is, how did you get past the liability issue?
For Lantern?
Yes.
So we developed a whole set of releases. So, and they cover everything. David has liability insurance. So our instructors are all certified. And then you can talk about your qualifications more, but we have releases, and all of that is covered by our legal department.
Yeah, so in developing the liability, I guess, I don't know how to really say it, but the series of waivers that we put together, I base it off of my experience working at a YMCA, and we put together the PARQ, the Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire, a health history profile, exercise history profile. All participants have to get notes signed by their doctor saying that they can participate in the program. We do a mandatory orientation where we go over the facility rules as well. And as Karisa mentioned, I do have liability insurance. And we continue to go over the rules as well. And so far there hasn't been a single problem. It really hasn't.
So what you stated earlier, so with regards to having, you didn't have a certified instructor on one site, but you had an individual who can oversee or manage volunteer individuals. If you had a small group facility to where, let's say, since you didn't have the certified instructors, but you had, let's say, a whole series of different type of exercise videos, that particular person can still oversee the staff as well as oversee the participants within the building to work out based upon the schedule given, and as well as utilizing the release forms?
Well, that you'd have to work out with your legal department. We haven't done that ourselves, having people use exercise videos. But what we do for all of our activities is we do have an activity waiver where people understand and sign that they are responsible for their participation in the group and do take responsibility for that. But I can't speak to the video thing because we haven't done that. My recommendation, though, for and having engaged a lot of fitness volunteers in the past, is that they should be certified. And honestly, if you are able to compensate them, I really highly recommend it, because they are professionals just as we are professionals in any profession. It seems like in fitness and the arts, everyone's like, oh, we can find someone free to come in and do it because they love it. But I'm a musician and I love it, I still have to eat, you know, so I understand, like, we all have to pool our resources and do the best that we can with all of that, but I do highly recommend always having certified instructors, even if you do have volunteers. It really should be someone that knows what they're doing.
I just want to applaud it, that's all.
Thanks.
We monitor a lot of the housing providers that probably are in this room today, and I know that a lot of housing providers are reluctant to ask that particular question, so I'm glad that at least from government we ask, mainly because we know that we've been encouraging a lot of our providers to set up something to which you have set up a premier program, which we definitely applaud, and at the same time, we know that it can come out of client service dollars and be able to do this in terms of paying a volunteer to come in the evenings and to be able to, or even in the afternoons, to be able to provide such a phenomenal service that is so greatly needed for the tenants and the individuals which we serve within our communities, within the 5 boroughs, and definitely we're dealing with mental health issues. And you're absolutely right. Between obesity, between medication, between substance abuse, this is a tremendous way of being able to address so many particular issues that we have in the city to de-stress and to help our community. Thank you.
Well said, too.
Well, it's great to hear there's such government buy-in for that concept, and thank you so much for these great comments and questions. We have time for a few more questions before cocktail hour, another part of mental health management. But one very small note I wanted to make before going on to other questions is the idea of substituting trained yoga instructors, dance instructors, or personal trainers with videos, while I think is very compelling for many of us trying to save money on our programming dollars, it sounds to me from what all of you are saying that the personal relationships that you are developing with clients is of utmost importance, and that there is true, I mean, all of us here probably have had exercise videos that we've never played, because I don't have a relationship with the cassette.
Sarah, may I mention one more resource? I highly recommend, when I worked for Shape Up, our program was very small, but over the course of quite a few years, their offerings are really expanded. If you're not familiar with Shape Up NYC, they provide free exercise classes taught by certified instructors all over the city of New York. I think by now it's like hundreds of classes. So their website tells all the classes, all the instructors, even if you can spare a staff person to lead a group there or share the information with clients, that's just another fitness resource.
Do we have any other questions?
I just wanted to ask Eric.
Yes.
For the classes that you teach it at an organization, at an agency?
Yes, it's a postgraduate center for mental health, and they have sites all over the 5 boroughs, and we teach in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and right now it's just the Bronx and Brooklyn, and we're going to be teaching, the program is at 6 different sites right now. So.
And that's grant funded?
Yes, it's grant funded, yeah, which I believe it might be underwritten also by the Department of Health as well.
And is it only open to people who are service recipients and postgrad?
Yes, but they're able to go to other sites. The residents at each site are able to go to the other sites and take the other classes that are offered. Yeah. It's a great program.
You incorporate staff as well as tenants in your class.
Yes, staff are allowed to take the class as well with the residents, and that really equalizes the energy, which is fabulous, because it puts everyone on the same plane, and there's bonding that happens every week. Yeah, it's wonderful. Great question.
I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you'll join us again next year.